When God begins to teach someone how to love you properly, it is often a quiet work, unseen by the eyes, yet unmistakably felt by the heart. This process does not happen because you are perfect, nor because the other person has suddenly discovered wisdom on their own. It happens because God is sovereign, and He is intentional in shaping hearts according to His will. Scripture tells us in Proverbs 16:9, "In their hearts, humans plan their course, but the Lord establishes their steps." What is unfolding before you is not accidental. It is divine education, designed to align intentions, refine character, and cultivate a love that mirrors the heart of God. Many people misunderstand what it means to love rightly. Love in the human sense is often selfish, conditional, or inconsistent. It bends according to convenience, circumstance, or emotion. But God is teaching someone how to love you properly by exposing what love truly requires: patience, understanding, selflessness, and a commitment to truth. 1 Corinthians 13:4-7 defines love as patient, kind, and enduring, not envious, boastful, or proud. God is instilling these principles in the heart of the one who is meant to love you, so that when they act, it is not merely out of feeling, but out of divine instruction. This teaching often begins with correction. God does not allow love to remain superficial. He challenges what is shallow, immature, or distorted. He confronts behaviors rooted in selfishness, pride, and insecurity. He opens eyes to how actions affect hearts, and He stirs awareness of emotional responsibility. Hebrews 12:11 reminds us that no discipline seems pleasant at the time, but painful discipline produces a harvest of righteousness and peace for those trained by it. Just as a parent teaches a child the proper way to behave, God trains the heart in the ways of authentic love. God is teaching someone how to love you properly by cultivating humility. Pride resists instruction, but humility listens, adjusts, and grows. A proud heart often believes it already knows how to love, yet Scripture reminds us in James 4:6 that God gives grace to the humble. Humility opens the door for understanding, empathy, and correction. God is showing this person that love is not about winning arguments, asserting dominance, or seeking validation. True love listens first, gives second, and sacrifices naturally without expectation of reward. In this season, you may notice subtle shifts in the way the person responds to you. They may begin to pause before reacting, to consider your feelings, or to approach conflicts differently. These changes may appear gradual, almost imperceptible, yet they are evidence of a profound internal transformation. God is not rushing the process because proper love cannot be hurried. Galatians 6:9 reminds us, "Let us not become weary in doing good, for at the proper time we will reap a harvest if we do not give up." The fruit of proper love requires cultivation, nurturing, and time. God is teaching someone how to love you properly by fostering empathy within them. Empathy is not instinctive for all. It is developed through reflection, awareness, and spiritual alignment. Romans 12:15 commands us to rejoice with those who rejoice and mourn with those who mourn. This is the essence of love, aligning with the experiences and emotions of the other person. God is instructing this heart to feel beyond its own needs, to see beyond its own perspective, and to respond with compassion that is guided by understanding rather than impulse. The process often involves reflection on past failures. God exposes patterns of selfishness, insensitivity, and neglect so they may be addressed and corrected. He brings moments of discomfort, not as punishment, but as necessary correction. Psalm 9:4-12 reminds us, "Blessed is the one you discipline, Lord, the one you teach from your law." God is teaching them that proper love honors, uplifts, and protects the heart of the one they are called to love. God is also teaching them patience. Love is often tested in the mundane, the repetitive, and the challenging. Proper love does not act only in moments of excitement. It endures in moments of inconvenience, disagreement, and stress. 1 Corinthians 13:7 says, "Love always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always perseveres." The heart being trained is learning to value consistency over emotional fluctuation, commitment over convenience, and endurance over temporary affection. In this season, you may sense that they are learning boundaries, not as limitations, but as tools to honor and respect your individuality. God is teaching them that proper love does not consume or control. It encourages, nurtures, and strengthens. Proverbs 2:5-28 warns that a person without self-control is like a city broken into and left without walls. God is instructing them in self-control so that love may be measured, thoughtful, and sustaining rather than impulsive or destructive. God is teaching someone how to love you properly by revealing the power of forgiveness. Love does not hold grudges. It does not remember wrongs with bitterness. Ephesians 4:32 commands, "Be kind and compassionate to one another, forgiving each other, just as in Christ God forgave you." The heart being trained is learning to release past offenses, to offer grace, and to approach your relationship with a spirit of restoration rather than retribution. Sometimes God teaches through contrast. He allows them to experience what love is not, so that they may discern what love truly is. They may witness or endure moments where selfishness, pride, or neglect lead to conflict, distance, or regret. Through these experiences, God is illuminating the value of integrity, attentiveness, and commitment in love. Proverbs 22:6 reminds us that training in the right way leads to wisdom that endures. God is teaching someone how to love you properly by cultivating emotional intelligence. Love is not merely a feeling, it is an understanding of emotions, needs, and responses. They are learning to listen with their heart, speak with care, and act with intentionality. Colossians 3:12 encourages us to clothe ourselves with compassion, kindness, humility, gentleness, and patience. These virtues are the building blocks of love that honors God and nurtures relationships. In this process, God also reveals the importance of accountability. Proper love acknowledges mistakes, seeks reconciliation, and acts with responsibility. When they falter, they are being shown the significance of admitting wrong, making amends, and learning from their failures. Psalm 5:117 reminds us that God values a broken and contrite heart. Softened hearts are capable of honesty, vulnerability, and genuine connection. God is teaching someone how to love you properly by opening their heart to the value of your presence. He is illuminating your worth, your faithfulness, and your integrity in ways that were previously unseen. They begin to appreciate not only what you bring to the relationship, but who you are at your core. Song of Solomon 4:7 declares, "You are altogether beautiful, my love. There is no flaw in you." Recognition of intrinsic value is a critical lesson in learning to love properly. This divine instruction also includes the understanding of timing. Love is not only about intention, it is about discernment. God is teaching them when to act, when to speak, when to encourage, and when to wait. Ecclesiastes 3:1 reminds us there is a time for everything, a season for every activity under the heavens. Proper love respects timing, waits patiently, and operates in harmony with divine purpose rather than human impulse. God is teaching someone how to love you properly through consistency. Actions matter more than words, and habits matter more than gestures. Galatians 6:9 encourages perseverance because consistent diligence produces harvest. They are learning that love is shown in repeated care, in steadfastness during trials, and in attention when it is inconvenient. Consistency is the language of trust, reliability, and genuine affection. Even now, subtle transformations are occurring. Attitudes are being adjusted, reactions are being tempered, and priorities are being reordered. They are beginning to understand that love is not about satisfying immediate desires, proving worth, or controlling outcome. Love is about selfless action, alignment with God's principles, and devotion that mirrors the character of Christ. John 15:12 commands us to love one another as Christ has loved us. Christ's love is sacrificial, patient, enduring, and unconditional. God is teaching them to reflect that same love toward you. God is teaching someone how to love you properly by shaping their vision for the future. He is guiding them to see your value in seasons yet to come, to respect the investment of your heart, and to honor the sacredness of your connection. Proverbs 4:18 describes the path of the righteous as shining brighter and brighter until the full day. Proper love does not falter. It grows in clarity, wisdom, and purpose. The lessons God imparts are not always comfortable. They may involve confrontation, correction, and moments of reflection that feel heavy. Yet these are necessary for maturity. Hebrews 12:11 reminds us that discipline is not pleasant in the moment, but produces righteousness and peace in those who are trained by it. The heart being instructed is being molded into a vessel capable of sustaining genuine, Christ-centered love. God is teaching someone how to love you properly by revealing the power of sacrifice. Love requires giving when it is inconvenient, forgiving when it is undeserved, and prioritizing your needs without neglecting their own. Philippians 2:3-4 instructs us to do nothing out of selfish ambition, but in humility. Value others above ourselves. Looking not only to our interests, but also to the interests of others. These principles are being embedded in the heart of the one learning to love you. Even in moments of testing, God's work continues. Challenges reveal depth, patience, and resilience. 1 Peter 4:8 emphasizes that love covers a multitude of sins. They are learning that love endures, protects, and persists, even when faced with mistakes, misunderstandings, or imperfections. The ability to love properly is being cultivated through experiences, reflections, and spiritual discipline. God is teaching someone how to love you properly by guiding them toward emotional transparency. Hiding motives, masking feelings, or avoiding accountability are being replaced by honesty, openness, and intentionality. James 5:16 urges confession to one another so that healing may occur. Softened hearts are learning to express love in ways that are truthful, nurturing, and spiritually aligned. The heart being trained is learning that proper love does not manipulate, coerce, or demand. It is a gift freely given, patient in expectation, steady in commitment, and anchored in righteousness. Proverbs 3:3-4 reminds us to let love and faithfulness never leave us, binding them around our necks and writing them on the tablet of our hearts. Love that is properly taught aligns with God's will, honors integrity, and cultivates lasting connection. God is teaching someone how to love you properly by shaping their capacity for forgiveness. Misunde. Our standings, offenses, and human weaknesses are inevitable, but love rises above resentment. Matthew 18:21-22 reminds us to forgive not just 7 times, but 77 times. A heart being trained to love rightly learns that forgiveness is not weakness. It is the essence of divine love applied through human obedience. He is also instilling the ability to honor your individuality. Proper love does not seek to change who you are, but embraces and supports your identity, purpose, and calling. Romans 12:10 instructs us to honor one another above ourselves. God is guiding them to recognize that to love you properly is to elevate your dignity, respect your uniqueness, and nurture the potential He placed within you. God is teaching someone how to love you properly by encouraging discernment in how they speak, act, and respond. Words are powerful instruments of encouragement or harm. Proverbs 15:1 reminds us that a gentle answer turns away wrath, but a harsh word stirs up anger. The heart being molded is learning to temper speech with kindness, actions with intentionality, and intentions with divine wisdom. Even now, unseen progress is being made. Old habits of selfishness, impatience, and impulsivity are being replaced with patience, thoughtfulness, and reflection. They are learning that love requires sacrifice, discipline, and alignment with God's principles. 1 John 4:7-8 reminds us that love comes from God, and everyone who loves has been born of God and knows God. God is imparting His love into their hearts so that their actions may reflect His character, not merely human inclination. God is teaching someone how to love you properly by fostering accountability. They are learning that proper love takes responsibility for mistakes, actively seeks correction, and honors commitments. Psalm 5:110 teaches us to create a pure heart and renew a steadfast spirit. The person whose heart is being shaped is learning that love is not passive or reactive. It is active, intentional, and guided by divine instruction. The process includes preparation for trials. Love is refined in challenge, not convenience. James 1:2-4 reminds us that trials produce perseverance, and perseverance leads to maturity and completeness. God is using circumstances to test, refine, and instruct this heart, ensuring that when love is expressed toward you, it is resilient, enduring, and anchored in truth. God is teaching someone how to love you properly by cultivating the understanding that love is not about possession, control, or expectation. 1 Corinthians 13:5 reminds us that love does not insist on its own way. It is not irritable or resentful. A heart being trained is learning that proper love releases control, respects boundaries, and aligns with God's principles rather than human desire. Even now, God's hand continues its work, guiding thought, reshaping motivation, fostering understanding, and instilling the virtues necessary for love that mirrors His own. Actions are being recalibrated, attitudes are being transformed, and intentions are being aligned with righteousness. Patience, humility, forgiveness, empathy, and perseverance are being embedded in ways that will endure. And as this process unfolds, unseen yet undeniable, God continues to mold a heart capable of loving you properly, according to His divine will, in His perfect timing, and for His eternal purposes, still moving, still shaping, still teaching, without end, without conclusion, without closure, because the work of God in the human heart is eternal, transformative, and beyond human comprehension. And as God continues this profound work, it is essential to understand that teaching someone to love properly is never superficial. It is a transformation that occurs deep within the soul, where intentions, motives, and desires are examined and realigned with divine truth. God is not merely training behavior, He is reshaping character. Romans 12:2 reminds us, "Do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind." The person whose heart is being trained must unlearn patterns of selfishness, impatience, and pride, and replace them with the principles of Christ-like love. God is teaching someone how to love you properly by exposing the roots of emotional immaturity. Immature hearts often react impulsively, speak harshly, and love conditionally. God brings these tendencies into the light, allowing them to be corrected, refined, and surrendered. Prover. PS 4:23 instructs, above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it. By reshaping the heart, God ensures that love flows from understanding, empathy, and righteousness rather than impulsive desires or flawed emotions. This divine instruction often involves confronting past patterns. God brings reflection on prior relationships, choices, and actions that were inconsistent with proper love. He teaches the heart to recognize what was incomplete, misguided, or harmful, and to pursue transformation. Ecclesiastes 7:10 reminds us not to say, "Why were the old days better than these?" Instead, God teaches that growth comes through reflection and correction, not nostalgia. The person whose heart is being instructed is learning to leave behind old errors and embrace new patterns rooted in faith, humility, and wisdom. God is teaching someone how to love you properly through patience. Love cannot be rushed, and hearts cannot be molded instantly. Galatians 6:9 tells us, "Let us not become weary in doing good, for at the proper time we will reap a harvest if we do not give up." This patience is not passive waiting, it is active engagement in the slow, deliberate work of character formation. They are learning to endure discomfort, regulate impulses, and prioritize long-term growth over immediate gratification. Empathy is central to this process. God is cultivating the ability to feel with you, to understand without judgment, and to respond with compassion. Romans 1:2-15 instructs, "Rejoice with those who rejoice, mourn with those who mourn." This is not emotional mimicry, but spiritual insight. The heart being trained is learning to enter into your experiences, validate your emotions, and act in ways that honor your dignity and reflect divine love. God is teaching someone how to love you properly by showing them the power of listening. True love requires hearing beyond words, discerning beyond surface meaning, and responding with thoughtfulness and care. James 1:19 advises, everyone should be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to become angry. This discipline of attentiveness is being instilled in the one whose heart is being trained. They are learning that love is demonstrated through presence, understanding, and patience. The work often involves correction in communication. God is teaching them that words can heal or harm, encourage or wound, build trust or destroy it. Proverbs 18:21 reminds us the tongue has the power of life and death. A heart being trained in proper love is learning to speak with kindness, clarity, and integrity. They are learning that love communicates through consistency, honesty, and respect, not manipulation, avoidance, or harshness. God is teaching someone how to love you properly by revealing the importance of selflessness. Love is not about satisfying personal desires. It is about prioritizing the well-being of the beloved. Philippians 2:3-4 instructs, do nothing out of selfish ambition or vain conceit. Rather, in humility, value others above yourselves, not looking to your own interest, but each of you to the interests of the others. They are learning that love requires sacrifice, consideration, and putting your needs above their own temporary comfort or pride. Forgiveness is another vital lesson. God is showing them that love cannot thrive when resentment, bitterness, or grudges take root. Ephesians 4:32 commands, be kind and compassionate to one another, forgiving each other, just as in Christ God forgave you. A heart trained in love learns to release offenses, extend grace, and approach reconciliation without lingering judgment. Forgiveness becomes a tool of liberation, not weakness, allowing love to flow freely, authentically, and consistently. God is teaching someone how to love you properly by cultivating integrity. Love cannot be genuine if it is inconsistent or insincere. Proverbs 10:9 declares, whoever walks in integrity walks securely, but whoever takes crooked paths will be found out. They are learning to align their words, actions, and intentions so that love is credible, trustworthy, and sustainable. This alignment ensures that love is not dependent on mood or circumstance, but is rooted in principle and character. Even now, God is showing them the value of honoring your individuality. Proper love does not seek to mold or control. It respects autonomy, encourages growth, and celebrates uniqueness. Romans 12:10 urges us to be devoted to one another in love. Honor one another above yourselves. God is teaching them that to love you properly is to respect who you are at your core, to nurture your gifts, and to support your calling. Love becomes a partnership in spiritual alignment, not domination or ownership. God is teaching someone how to love you properly by fostering discernment. They are learning to perceive not only actions and words, but also intentions and motivations. Hebrews 5:14 reminds us that solid food is for the mature, for those whose faculties have been trained by constant practice to distinguish good from evil. They are being trained to respond to you in ways that reflect understanding, wisdom, and spiritual alignment, rather than emotion-driven impulse. God is teaching someone how to love you properly by exposing pride. Pride resists teaching, defends self, and distorts perception. He is showing them that love rooted in pride is fragile, conditional, and destructive. Proverbs 11:2 tells us, when pride comes, then comes disgrace, but with humility comes wisdom. A humbled heart is open to listening, correction, and refinement. Humility becomes the foundation of love that is genuine, steadfast, and divine in nature. God is teaching someone how to love you properly through experiences of accountability. They are learning that love requires responsibility, acknowledgement of mistakes, and corrective action. Psalm 5:110 calls for a pure heart and a steadfast spirit. A heart that is being shaped in love. You understands that true love is active, consistent, and responsible, not reactive, impulsive, or careless. They are also learning patience in dealing with imperfections. Love does not demand perfection, it nurtures growth. 1 Corinthians 13:7 reminds us that love always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always perseveres. God is teaching them that to love properly is to embrace patience, endurance, and support through every season, both easy and challenging. God is teaching someone how to love you properly by illuminating the importance of timing. Love expressed prematurely, recklessly, or inconsistently can be harmful. Ecclesiastes 3:1 reminds us there is a time for everything. They are learning when to act, when to speak, and when to hold back, aligning their actions with wisdom, discernment, and divine order. Timing ensures that love is effective, restorative, and sustaining. God is teaching someone how to love you properly by cultivating generosity of spirit. Love that is properly taught gives without expecting return, serves without seeking recognition, and encourages without demanding. Luke 6:38 assures us that giving will result in receiving, not as obligation but as natural principle. Hearts trained in generosity reflect God's abundance in their relationships, extending grace freely and intentionally. They are learning the importance of listening deeply. God is instructing them that love is more than speaking, giving, or acting. It is being present, understanding, and attuned to your heart. James 1:19 says, "Everyone should be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to become angry." This discipline is critical in learning to love you properly because it creates space for trust, understanding, and authentic connection. God is teaching someone how to love you properly by shaping their capacity for empathy. They are learning to recognize and validate your feelings even when they differ from their own. Romans 12:15 encourages rejoicing with those who rejoice and mourning with those who mourn. Proper love learns to enter into your experiences not as an observer, but as a participant in spiritual alignment and relational harmony. God is teaching someone how to love you properly by correcting impulsiveness. Love requires reflection, restraint, and intentionality. Proverbs 19:11 says, "A person's wisdom yields patience. It is to one's glory to overlook an offense. A heart trained in proper love acts thoughtfully, prioritizes understanding, and avoids reactionary behavior that can cause harm or misunderstanding." He is teaching them the importance of loyalty. Proper love remains steadfast, even when challenges arise, circumstances change, or emotions fluctuate. Proverbs 17:17 declares, "A friend loves at all times, and a brother is born for a time of adversity." God is training their heart to value constancy, reliability, and faithfulness as essential components of genuine love. God is teaching someone how to love you properly through cultivation of respect. They are learning that love that does not honor, support, and value the beloved is incomplete. Romans 12:10 calls us to honor one another above ourselves. Respect is the framework through which love operates sustainably and honorably. Even now, subtle shifts are taking place. Reactions are tempered, motives are examined, words are chosen carefully, and actions are measured against divine principles. Galatians 5:22-23 reminds us that the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. God is teaching them to manifest these fruits in the ways they love you. God is teaching someone how to love you properly by showing them the power of prayer. True love is not just action, it is spiritual alignment. They are being guided to lift your relationship to God in prayer, seeking wisdom, guidance, and grace in every decision and interaction. Philippians 4:6 instructs us to present our requests to God with thanksgiving. Prayer aligns the heart with God's will, shaping love to reflect divine wisdom. They are learning that love involves vulnerability. Proper love does not hide behind walls, manipulation, or self-protection. 2 Corinthians 12:9 reminds us that God's power is made perfect in weakness. God is teaching them that to love you properly, they must approach with authenticity, openness, and surrender to His guidance. God is teaching someone how to love you properly by shaping their understanding of grace. Grace is central to love. It allows patience, forgiveness, and growth. Titus 2:11-12 reminds us that the grace of God teaches us to live disciplined lives, Hearts being molded in love learn to extend grace to others as God extends grace to them. Even as they grow in understanding, God teaches them perseverance. Love that falters under challenge is not yet mature. James 1:12 encourages endurance under trial, promising a reward for steadfastness. God is ensuring that their love becomes resilient, sustaining, and reflective of His eternal character. God is teaching someone how to love you properly by nurturing self-awareness. They are learning to recognize their limitations, confront flaws, and align motives with God's principles. Proverbs 14:8 teaches that the wisdom of the prudent is to give thought to their ways. Self-awareness ensures love that is conscious, intentional, and reflective. They are also learning the importance of celebration. Proper love rejoices in your victories, honors your achievements, and affirms your worth. Romans 12:15 calls us to rejoice with those who rejoice. God is teaching them that to love properly is to celebrate you without envy, comparison, or resentment. God is teaching someone how to love you properly by cultivating discernment in boundaries. Love respects, protects, and honors the individuality of the beloved. Proverbs 2:5-28 warns that a person without self-control is like a city broken into and left without walls. Bound. Dairies ensure love is healthy, balanced, and sustainable. Even now, God is shaping patience, humility, empathy, consistency, generosity, discernment, integrity, and accountability in the heart that is being taught to love you properly. Every subtle shift, every reflection, every corrected impulse, every act of thoughtfulness is part of God's deliberate, sovereign instruction. The work is ongoing, profound, and eternal, a divine education that ensures when love is expressed, it is aligned with His character, rooted in righteousness, and capable of sustaining a lifetime of trust, respect, and devotion. And as God continues this sacred work, it is vital to understand that teaching someone how to love you properly is not a process that happens overnight. It is gradual, meticulous, and divine in its precision. God is reshaping the inner person, every thought, intention, and emotion, so that when their love manifests toward you, it is genuine, enduring, and rooted in righteousness. Proverbs 3:5-6 reminds us to trust in the Lord with all our heart and lean not on our own understanding. In all ways acknowledge Him, and He will direct our paths. The heart being trained is learning to depend on God's guidance rather than human impulse, ensuring that every act of love is aligned with His will. God is teaching someone how to love you properly by cultivating sensitivity. Sensitivity is not weakness, it is spiritual awareness. They are learning to perceive your needs, understand your emotions, and respond with care that reflects God's wisdom. Isaiah 4:110 assures us, "Do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God." The Spirit of God is instilling in them a sensitivity that allows them to act in ways that nurture, protect, and honor your heart without overstepping or overwhelming. This divine instruction often involves the refinement of character. God is confronting selfish tendencies, impulsive reactions, and prideful attitudes. He is revealing areas where love has been flawed, incomplete, or conditional, and teaching correction through discipline, reflection, and alignment with His Word. Hebrews 12:10 reminds us that God disciplines us for our good, that we may share in His holiness. Every lesson, every subtle correction, and every conviction is part of a larger plan to prepare a heart capable of loving rightly, enduringly, and selflessly. God is teaching someone how to love you properly by instilling empathy. Empathy allows a person to step outside of themselves and feel with you, understand your experiences, and respond in ways that reflect divine compassion. Romans 12:15 exhorts us to rejoice with those who rejoice and mourn with those who mourn. Proper love is not self-centered. It enters into your reality, validates your feelings, and acts with wisdom, patience, and understanding. They are learning the importance of patience. Love cannot thrive in haste, nor can hearts grow mature without endurance. 1 Corinthians 13:4-7. Defy. Nest love as patient, kind, and persevering. God is teaching them to endure discomfort, wait with expectation, and act in alignment with divine timing rather than human impatience. Every delay, every trial, every moment of reflection is an instrument in His hands to cultivate love that is steadfast and eternal. God is teaching someone how to love you properly by reshaping their understanding of forgiveness. Love is not complete without the willingness to forgive and release offenses. Ephesians 4:32 commands us to be kind and compassionate, forgiving each other just as God forgave us in Christ. The heart being trained is learning that forgiveness is not a choice made lightly or occasionally. It is a posture, a lifestyle, and a reflection of the grace that God extends to all. This process includes lessons in humility. Pride resists teaching, and it distorts love. God is instructing them that love that is rooted in arrogance or self-interest is fragile, conditional, and fleeting. James 4:6 reminds us that God opposes the proud, but gives grace to the humble. Humility allows love to flow freely, guided by wisdom, integrity, and divine insight. God is teaching someone how to love you properly by cultivating accountability. They are learning that love requires responsibility, honesty, and correction. Psalm 5:110 calls for a pure heart and a steadfast spirit. Proper love does not hide behind excuses, deny responsibility, or operate in secrecy. It acts intentionally, consistently, in alignment with divine truth. Even now, God is reshaping their approach to communication. They are learning that love requires words spoken with gentleness, honesty, and clarity. Proverbs 15:1 reminds us that a gentle answer turns away wrath, but a harsh word stirs up anger. God is teaching them to speak in ways that heal, encourage, and reflect the character of Christ, rather than impulsively react, manipulate, or cause division. God is teaching someone how to love you properly by cultivating selflessness. Love is not a transaction, it is a sacrifice. Philippians 2:3-4 instructs us to value others above ourselves, looking not to our own interests but to the interests of others. They are learning that to love properly is to give without expectation, serve without seeking recognition, and prioritize your needs in harmony with divine guidance. They are learning the importance of consistency. Love that wavers with moods, circumstances, or convenience is incomplete. Galatians 6:9 encourages perseverance, reminding us that in due time we will reap a harvest if we do not give up. God is teaching them that steady, reliable, and faithful love builds trust, security, and intimacy that can withstand trials and seasons of uncertainty. God is teaching someone how to love you properly by shaping their understanding of boundaries. Love that lacks respect, restraint, or discernment can harm rather than nurture. Proverbs 2:28 warns that a person without self-control is like a city, broken into and left without walls. Boundaries create safe spaces for love to flourish, ensuring respect, balance, and protection for both hearts. This divine teaching includes cultivating discernment in timing. Ecclesiastes 3:1 reminds us that there is a time for everything. God is instructing them when to act, when to speak, and when to wait, so that every expression of love is appropriate, meaningful, and aligned with His divine order. Love that is timely is powerful, healing, and sustaining. God is teaching someone how to love you properly by nurturing generosity of spirit. True love gives freely, encourages wholeheartedly, and sacrifices willingly. Luke 6:38 assures that giving will result in receiving, not as obligation, but as principle. Hearts being trained in love are learning to extend grace, support, and care without calculation or expectation, reflecting God's own abundant love. They are learning emotional intelligence. God is teaching them to regulate their emotions, respond with wisdom, and act in ways that build trust, security, and relational harmony. Proverbs 14:29 says, "Whoever is patient has great understanding, but one who is quick-tempered displays folly." Love that is taught properly navigates emotions with discernment, balance, and spiritual maturity. God is teaching someone how to love you properly by exposing the destructive nature of pride, selfishness, and impulsivity. He is showing them that love rooted in ego, insecurity, or desire for control cannot endure. Proverbs 16:18 reminds us that pride comes before destruction, a haughty spirit before a fall. A heart aligned with God's teaching seeks humility, surrender, and wisdom in every expression of love. Even now, God is working in unseen ways. Thoughts are being recalibrated, intentions are being examined, and actions are being aligned with divine principles. They are learning that love is not merely a response to emotion or circumstance. It is a deliberate, intentional, and God-guided choice. Colossians 3:14 reminds us to put on love, which binds everything together in perfect harmony. God is teaching someone how to love you properly by shaping their capacity for empathy, understanding, and presence. They are learning to enter your experiences, validate your feelings, and respond with gentleness, patience, and wisdom. Proper love is not passive or indifferent. It is active, conscious, and aligned with divine truth. They are being taught that love requires forgiveness, endurance, and resilience. James 1:12 encourages perseverance under trial, promising a reward for steadfastness. Love that is properly taught does not falter in the face of mistakes, misunderstandings, or challenges. It endures, protects, and fosters growth for both hearts. God is teaching someone how to love you properly by cultivating integrity. Proverbs 10:9 reminds us that whoever walks in integrity walks securely. The heart being trained is learning to align words, actions, and intentions so that love is trustworthy, authentic, and enduring. Integrity ensures that love is reliable, faithful, and free from deception or manipulation. They are learning that love honors individuality. Romans 12:10 instructs us to honor one another above ourselves. God is teaching them that to love properly is to respect who you are, nurture your gifts, and support your purpose. Love does not seek control, dominance, or conformity. It uplifts, encourages, and partners in spiritual alignment. God is teaching someone how to love you properly through accountability. They are learning that love is active, responsible, and intentional. Psalm 5:110 calls for a pure heart and a steadfast spirit. Proper love acknowledges mistakes, seeks correction, and aligns actions with divine principles. They are also learning that love requires patience, reflection, and deliberate action. 1 Corinthians 13:7 reminds us that love always protects, trusts, hopes, and perseveres. God is teaching them that proper love is steady, enduring, and faithful, even in the midst of difficulty or misunderstanding. God is teaching someone how to love you properly by fostering generosity, empathy, and spiritual alignment. They are learning that love is not selfish or fleeting. It is sacrificial, attentive, and grounded in righteousness. Every subtle shift, every internal reflection, every corrected impulse is part of God's divine instruction, shaping a heart capable of enduring, genuine, and Christ-centered love. Eve. Now God's hand continues to mold patience, humility, empathy, discernment, forgiveness, and accountability into the heart being trained to love you properly. Actions are being aligned, motives refined, and intentions corrected. This divine work is ongoing, unseen, and eternal. The lessons, corrections, and insights being instilled now will manifest in a love that is authentic, enduring, and reflective of God's character. God is teaching someone how to love you properly through every challenge, every trial, every reflection, every act of correction, and every moment of divine instruction. The heart being shaped is being prepared for a love that is patient, selfless, forgiving, and aligned with God's will. The work is meticulous, sovereign, and eternal, producing a love that mirrors the heart of God, capable of sustaining a lifetime of trust, intimacy, and devotion. And so God continues His careful, deliberate work in shaping a heart to love you properly, a process that cannot be rushed, cannot be faked, and cannot be bypassed. It is a work that occurs in the hidden places, in quiet reflection, in moments of correction, and in the steady molding of character. Just as gold is refined by fire, so is the heart purified and prepared. Malachi 3:3 reminds us, He will sit as a refiner and purifier of silver. He will purify the Levites and refine them like gold and silver. Every difficulty, every internal struggle, every confrontation with selfishness is part of God's refining process. The heart that emerges is stronger, purer, and capable of loving in a way that reflects His own divine nature. God is teaching someone how to love you properly by instilling discipline. Love without discipline is fragile and fleeting. Discipline is not punishment, it is guidance, correction, and alignment with divine wisdom. Hebrews 12:11 reminds us, no discipline seems pleasant at the time, but painful discipline produces a harvest of righteousness and peace for those who have been trained by it. They are learning that proper love requires restraint, thoughtfulness, and a willingness to act in ways that honor you consistently, not just when it is convenient. This divine instruction often involves confronting past wounds, both in themselves and in the patterns of others. God is teaching them that love is not a weapon, nor is it conditional upon perfection. Ephesians 4:2 commands us to be completely humble and gentle, be patient, bearing with one another in love. The heart being trained is learning that true love forgives, restores, and acts from a place of humility and understanding. Every moment of reflection, every insight gained, brings them closer to the capacity to love rightly, enduringly, and with grace. God is teaching someone how to love you properly by reshaping their priorities. Love that is self-centered, prideful, or impulsive is insufficient. Philippians 2:3-4 instructs us to consider others better than ourselves and to look not only to our own interests but also to the interests of others. They are learning that your well-being, your feelings, and your spiritual alignment are to be valued, respected, and nurtured. Proper love prioritizes the beloved's growth, joy, and peace above immediate desires or convenience. They are learning the discipline of patience. Love requires waiting, enduring, and persevering. 1 Corinthians 13:7 reminds us that love always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always perseveres. God is teaching them that to love properly is to remain steadfast in commitment, even when emotions waver, circumstances change, or trials arise. Patience is not passive, it is active, deliberate, and rooted in faith. God is teaching someone how to love you properly by cultivating empathy. Empathy is not innate, it is learned, nurtured, and refined. Romans 12:15 instructs, rejoice with those who rejoice, mourn with those who mourn. The heart being trained is learning to enter into your experiences, validate your emotions, and respond with understanding, wisdom, and compassion. Proper love is sensitive, perceptive, and reflective of God's heart. They are also learning the power of selflessness. Love that is self-centered cannot endure. It is conditional, temporary, and fragile. Philippians 2:3-4 reminds us again to value others above ourselves. God is teaching them that to love properly is to give freely, serve willingly, and prioritize your needs in harmony with His divine will. Selflessness is not weakness, it is the hallmark of mature, enduring love. God is teaching someone how to love you properly by reshaping their communication. Words have power, and love that is not expressed with care can wound rather than heal. Proverbs 18:21 tells us, the tongue has the power of life and death, and those who love it will eat its fruit. They are learning to speak with gentleness, clarity, and integrity, ensuring that their words nurture, encourage, and build trust rather than sow confusion or harm. Even now, God is cultivating integrity in the heart that is being trained to love you properly. Proverbs 10:9 says, whoever walks in integrity walks securely, but whoever takes crooked paths will be found out. Proper love aligns actions with intentions and intentions with divine guidance. Integrity ensures that love is trustworthy, reliable, and enduring. It becomes a force that sustains relationships, builds faith, and mirrors God's character. God is teaching someone how to love you properly by shaping their understanding of forgiveness. Love without forgiveness is limited. It cannot thrive in the face of human imperfection. Ephesians 4:32 commands, "Be kind and compassionate to one another, forgiving each other, just as in Christ God forgave you." The heart being trained is learning to release offenses, extend grace, and restore connection, even when it is difficult. Forgiveness becomes the pathway to freedom, growth, and lasting intimacy. They are learning humility. Pride resists correction, distorts perception, and undermines love. James 4:6 reminds us that God opposes the proud but gives grace to the humble. Humility allows love to act with wisdom, patience, and alignment with divine principles. A humble heart listens, adjusts, and prioritizes the well-being of the beloved. God is teaching someone how to love you properly by cultivating discernment. Discernment allows them to perceive not only words and actions, but intentions, motives, and needs. Hebrews 5:14 teaches that solid food is for the mature, for those trained to distinguish good from evil. Proper love requires this wisdom, ensuring that actions are thoughtful, appropriate, and reflective of God's will. They are being guided to recognize and release selfish tendencies. Selfish love seeks its own satisfaction. God-taught love seeks the well-being of the beloved. Romans 12:10 commands devotion, honor, and humility. Love is not transactional. It is relational, sacrificial, and guided by the Spirit. God is teaching someone how to love you properly through experiences of accountability. Hearts learn best when they are aware of mistakes, receive correction, and are willing to adjust. Psalm 5:110 calls for a pure heart and steadfast spirit. Proper love is responsible, reflective, and aligned with divine instruction. It does not hide or deny mistakes, but seeks growth, restoration, and alignment with God's character. They are learning patience with imperfection. Love is not conditional on perfection, but endures, protects, and nurtures growth. 1 Corinthians 13:7 reminds us that love always protects, trusts, hopes, and perseveres. God is teaching them that enduring love is active, steadfast, and faithful, capable of sustaining a lifetime of connection, trust, and intimacy. God is teaching someone how to love you properly by cultivating generosity, both in spirit and action. Luke 6:38 assures us that giving leads to receiving, not as obligation, but as principle. They are learning that love is not measured by what is received, but by what is freely given, reflecting God's abundant love in every gesture, word, and thought. They are learning emotional intelligence. Proverbs 14:29 reminds us that whoever is patient has great understanding. God is teaching them to regulate emotions, respond with thoughtfulness, and act in ways that build trust, intimacy, and relational harmony. Love that is properly taught does not lash out, manipulate, or coerce. It nurtures, uplifts, and strengthens. God is teaching someone how to love you properly by reshaping priorities. They are learning to value your heart, respect your boundaries, and align actions with God's principles rather than fleeting desires. Philippians 2:3-4 instructs us to consider others better than ourselves. Proper love elevates the beloved, encourages growth, and honors their calling. They are learning the importance of consistency. Love that is irregular, inconsistent, or conditional cannot endure. Galatians 6:9 encourages perseverance. God is teaching them that steady, reliable, and faithful love builds security, trust, and a foundation for long-term intimacy. God is teaching someone how to love you properly by instilling humility in decision-making. Love must serve, not dominate. Proverbs 11:2 reminds us that with humility comes wisdom. They are learning that love seeks to uplift, support, and honor, not to control or diminish. Even now, God continues to teach through subtle nudges, reflections, and divine convictions. Attitudes are being adjusted, motives refined, and actions corrected. Hearts are being aligned with His principles, ensuring that when love is expressed, it is authentic, Christ-centered, and capable of enduring trials, misunderstandings, and challenges. God is teaching someone how to love you properly through spiritual alignment. 1 John 4:7-8 reminds us that love comes from God. And everyone who loves has been born of God and knows God. The heart being trained is being filled with His love so that every expression toward you mirrors divine compassion, patience, and wisdom. They are learning that love requires vulnerability. 2 Corinthians 12:9 reminds us that God's power is made perfect in weakness. To love properly, they must approach you with openness, authenticity, and surrender, trusting God to guide their actions. God is teaching someone how to love you properly by cultivating resilience. James 1:12 encourages endurance under trial, promising a reward. Love that falters under challenge is not yet mature. God is shaping a heart that can remain steadfast, patient, and nurturing. Even in the face of difficulty, they are learning that love is more than emotion, it is deliberate action. Colossians 3:14 instructs us to put on love, which binds everything together in perfect harmony. God is teaching them that love must be intentional, consistent, and reflective of His character. God is teaching someone how to love you properly by fostering empathy, patience, humility, forgiveness, discernment, integrity, and generosity. Every lesson, every reflection, and every act of correction is designed to prepare a heart capable of enduring Christ-centered love. Even now, God's work continues. Subtle shifts in thought, reflection, and action are shaping a love that is patient, kind, selfless, forgiving, and aligned with His divine principles. The heart being trained is learning to love in a way that mirrors God's character, capable of sustaining intimacy, trust, and devotion. This process is ongoing, meticulous, and eternal, producing a love that is not temporary, conditional, or fleeting, but a love that reflects God's own heart, enduring all seasons, trials, and challenges. As we draw this message to its powerful close, let us pause and reflect on the profound truth it carries. God is not idle in matters of the heart. He is actively teaching, shaping, and refining those who are meant to love you, guiding them through patience, humility, forgiveness, and selflessness. The love you receive in its fullness will not be by chance. It will be the product of divine instruction, spiritual alignment, and a heart molded by His wisdom. When God teaches someone to love you properly, He ensures that every word they speak, every act they perform, and every intention they hold is in harmony with His perfect will. This love will be steadfast when trials arise, tender when understanding is needed, and selfless when sacrifice is required. It will honor your individuality, respect your boundaries, and nurture your growth. It will forgive without hesitation, persist through imperfection, and celebrate your victories as if they were their own. It will embody patience where impatience once ruled, empathy where ignorance once prevailed, and integrity where inconsistency once existed. Remember, God's work is not superficial. He is training a heart that is capable of reflecting His own divine love, a love that is eternal, enduring, and transformative. The journey may be unseen, the process may be slow, but the outcome is guaranteed. A love that mirrors the heart of God, a love that strengthens, protects, and glorifies Him through the way it honors you. So stand in faith, trust in His timing, and know with certainty that God is actively at work. He is not just shaping love, He is perfecting it. The person being taught to love you properly is being prepared to meet you not with imperfection, but with a heart aligned to His truth, capable of loving with depth, wisdom, and divine purpose. This is the love that changes lives, fulfills destinies, and brings glory to God in ways words alone cannot capture. Embrace this truth, rejoice in His divine orchestration, and be assured that what God is building will endure beyond every trial, every test, and every challenge. The love that comes forth will not only touch your heart, but will transform your life, anchoring you in faith, hope, and the certainty of His perfect will. This is the power of God's teaching. This is the divine preparation of hearts. This is His love made perfect.